हरि ओम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। Hari Om, welcome to yet another session of Ola Sanskrit Sahitya lecture series. We started with Urubhangam, another play, one-act play of Mahakavi Bhasa, and this is the first ever tragedy in the Sanskrit theatrical literature or history. And I'm so happy that some of the audience are so intently listening to these talks. They come up with some queries and doubts, and I would like to draw your attention to one such doubt which we had discussed in the last lecture. Last lecture we saw that Sutradhara is telling that who are there remaining in the Kaurava Paksha and who are there in the Pandava Paksha. The Kurukshetra war is almost at the end. So only Duryodhanavasheshe, Dhritarashtra Pakshe, and before that he adds a very peculiar epithet, Tanaya Shata Nayana Shunye. This has a very beautiful anuprasa of Tavarga and Sha, and I said that Tanaya Shata, yes, Dhritarashtra had 100 sons, now Duryodhana is still living. So can we say that he has lost the eyes of all his 100 sons? So somebody asked that query, okay? And I had explained in the last lecture that, okay, we may take into consideration Dushala, his daughter, so that makes it 100. Then somebody said, oh no, but she was living. So it's not that she is dead. So for that I have two samadhana, justifications. One is, maybe there are only 99 are dead and Dushala is living and Duryodhana is also living. So this could mean nearly 100, because many times numbers when they come in the literature, they are not like finite numbers. Shata need not necessarily mean 99 plus 1, okay? So that is one explanation of that. Secondly, taking into consideration Mahakavi Bhasa as the author and his skill in suggestive power, that is Vyanjana, which is one of the powers of the language, it could be, it is suggestive that Duryodhana will be no more in few moments, and therefore he will be really devoid of the eyes through which he used to see the world of his 100 sons. So Tanaya Shata Nayana Shunya. I hope this satisfies you all. And we finished Sthapana, the Prastavana, which normally in Bhasa's plays is called as Sthapana instead of Prastavana. And then there enter 3 soldiers. Now these 3 soldiers are explaining to us the woes, the fearfulness of the battlefield. What is the scene over there in Kurukshetra? Because actual war cannot be shown on the stage. But war is never a welcome idea. War is, causing destruction of the entire community, the clans, the dynasties, so many people. And this Kurukshetra war was like a world war in ancient India. So it brought pathos and agony and death of all the entire generations together of mankind. So all that fierceness is brought about through the verses, the descriptions by the soldiers. We read from the 4th stanza today, Prathamaha. There enter 3 soldiers, ete smo bhoho, ete smaha. We have seen that Sutradhara, while he is about to commence the drama, Ai kinnu khalu mayi vidnyapana vyagre shabdaiva shruyate, and he sees some warriors, they are making noise, they are wandering here and there, and now they three make an entry on the stage. It is normally a dictum that na asamsuchitam patram praveshayet. Without giving any indication, no patra, no character should make an entry abruptly all of a sudden. The entry should be indicated by somebody. So this is indicated by Sutradhara. He takes an exit. Pariparshvaka also leaves with him, and there enter three soldiers. Prathamaha, the first soldier. Each one in their own turn will be describing the fiercefulness of the battlefield. Vairasyākvathanaṃ balasya nikaṣaṃ mānapratiṣṭhāgṛhaṃ yuddheṣvapsarasāṃ svayaṃvarasabhāṃ śauryapratiṣṭhāṃ nṛṇām rājñāṃ paścimakālavīraśayanaṃ prāṇāgnihomakratuṃ samprāptā raṇasaṃjñamāśramapadaṃ rājñāṃ nabhaḥsaṅkramam. A big verse in Shardula Vikridita Vritta, okay, a big vritta, and having a mala rupaka alankara. A rupaka, a metaphor, and anganam api aropatvat mala rupakam iti kathyate. Rupaka may be metaphor, one thing is metaphorized or metaphorically conceived to be another, but the dharma, the characteristics also are superimposed. When such is the situation, it is called mala rupaka alankara. Now here, there is a metaphor of ashrama on rana. Raṇasaṃjñamāśramapadaṃ. Raṇasaṃgrama is conceived to be ashrama pada. Okay. See, there is a sukshma bheda. I can explain it to you from the aesthetics point of view, alankara shastra point of view. Most of the figures of speech are based on similarity or comparison. When there is just a comparison, it is called upama. When the comparison is imaginary, it is called utpreksha. And when in the similarity it is stated to be, this is this, it is rupaka. The underlying principle is nonetheless similarity, okay, comparison. Tasyaha mukham chandra iva is upama. Mukham chandra eva is rupaka. Got the difference? So, Raṇasaṃgramaha ashrama iva, if it is stated, it could have been upama. But here, raṇasaṃjñamāśramapadam rājñāṃ samprāptāḥ. The anvaya we can see, ranam ashrama iva. Now, what are all the characteristics of ashrama? And whatever happening in rana, they are superimposed on each other. Ashramasya dharmaha rane aropitaha santi. Ashrama is normally an avasa, an abode. Abode for whom? For the gurus and the shishyas, the guru gruha, the gurukula, okay? And the brahmacharins and so many people coming there. It is avasa. And what is this rana avasa of? This is an abode of what? Vairasyākvathanaṃ. This is the avasa, ayatana of vaira. Who stays there? Who has relocated there? Okay? Vaira, enmity. Amongst the two parties, there is enmity, and therefore, senayor ubhayor madhye, right? And therefore, enmity only prevails, enmity only stays in the ashrama. The word which Bhasa uses is ayatanam. Yopam ayatanam veda ayatanavan bhavati. Ayatana basically means yajñasthala or chaitya, a pavitra bhumi. But the secondary meaning of that is abode, a house. Okay? Griham, sadanam, bhavanam. So, vairasyākvathanaṃ, this is as if, not as if, this is the abode of enmity. Balasya nikaṣaṃ, There is nikaṣaṃ, a touchstone. Nikaṣaṃ is śāṇotpala, on which the suvarna, the gold is tested, So that stone on which the kasauti ka patthar bolte hai usko, right? Kasauti ka patthar. So that is called nikaṣaṃ. Here in the ashrama, normally the nikaṣaṃ is of what? Of the jnana, of the tapa. And here in the raṇa, it is nikaṣaṃ of bala. Who is more, valorous, who is more brave, he will be the winner. So, balasya nikaṣaṃ. Mānapratiṣṭhāgṛhaṃ. This is a grha. Avasa is a main, bigger campus like thing. Griham is a house. In the grha, the guru, guru patni and the brahmacharis would stay. Here in the raṇa, two people stay, mānaḥ pratishtha. Only the mana, the abhimana and pratishtha, their greatness which they acquire through the bravery. So, mānaḥ pratishtha mānapratiṣṭhe tayoho griham, mānapratiṣṭhāgṛhaṃ. yuddheṣvapsarasāṃ svayaṃvarasabhāṃ. Normally, a gurukula, a tapobhumi will have a yajna mandapa, yajñashala. In the ranabhumi also there is a mandapa. This is a svayaṃvara mandapa. And who comes there? The apsaras come there to choose whom? The brave warriors who are dying fighting there. Hato va prāpsyasi svargaṃ. And in svarga there are rambhādi devānganaha. Right? And therefore, as if this is the svayaṃvara mandapa of the apsaras who come of their choice and garland the brave warriors who have fought bravely and died on the battlefield. Apsarasaṃ svayaṃvarasabhāṃ śauryapratiṣṭhāṃ nṛṇām. And this is nṛṇām of the people. Now, nṛ is not just any human being. Nṛ, it could be manushya, and nṛ is, it's not a gender specific word, it's a gender neutral. It could mean a man as well as a woman. It is basically derived from the root ni, to lead, ni prāpane. So one who is the leader. So here battlefield is meant not for common people. This is the home, this is the field for the warriors to come together. Because such warriors come together, another word for the battlefield is samiti. Samiti also means a sabha. Sabha and samiti, right? But sam plus in gatau, where the people come together with only one objective, that is called a samiti. It could mean a raṇaṃgana, it could also mean a vidvat sabha, where people go with one intention, I have to win and prove my credentials here. Okay? And if you remember, see how the one word leads to another, the synonyms are so expressive, so meaningful in Sanskrit. We have one word for Arjuna called Samitinjaya. Have you heard this word? Yes, Samitinjaya. Who has never been defeated by anybody in the war, in the battle, is Arjuna. Samitinjaya. So Samiti, Sabha, Samiti, Samara, Chamu, Rana, all these are synonyms. So śauryapratiṣṭhāṃ nṛṇām, this is the pratishtha for the nṛ, for the leaders of armies, not any Tom, Dick and Harry, not common people like us. They don't go to fight on the battlefield. It's only the brave warriors who show up there. Then rājñāṃ paścimakālavīraśayanaṃ. Paśtimakāla is the end portion. Paśtima, normally it is contrasted with Purva and Prachi, Pratichi, Purva Paśtimo. It is western direction. But Paśtima also means the end of human life. And therefore the preta kriya is known as Paśtima kriya. The dehanta kriya is Shraddha karma is also termed as Paśćima kriya. So Paśćimakāle, at the end of their lives, rājñāṃ, the kings who are fighting there, vairasyākvathanaṃ, there is a nice bed, prepared for them on the battlefield, where they die a heroic death. Vairasyākvathanaṃ. Normally, in the tapo, this is a metaphor on ashrama, right? Ashrama's dharma are all aropita on rana. In ashrama, normally, when the guru is on the deathbed, there are some of the students who will be there staying with him till he passes away. And such disciples are called Antevasin. So now you get to know how every detail of the ashrama has been transferred to the Ranangana. So rājñāṃ pastimakālavīraśayanaṃ prāṇāgnihomakratuṃ. And they are there dying peacefully. They don't have any grief, while dying, fighting in the battlefield, because that is their dharma. Tato yuddhāya yuddheṣva. Yuddha is the kshatra dharma. And if people die while fighting, they don't grieve for their deaths. Nobody grieves on their death, because they are supposed to go to the higher world, heavenly world thereby. As if they have sacrificed their lives as an ahuti in the ranasthandila. In the yajñasthandila, normally in the yajñavedi, the ahutis are offered, okay? Something is offered for the gods. Here the warriors, the brave people are offering themselves as the offering for the gods. So prāṇāgnihomakratuṃ, agnihomakratuṃ. Agnihoma is done in the ashramas. That is Agnihotra. Every day you kindle fire and offer the offerings, the oblations for the gods. And Agnihomakratuṃ. Kratu is yajña. Kratu means yajña. Kratu basically, I am a student of etymology, and I always love giving etymologies. Whatever the class may be, I will have to bring in nirukta there. Whether I am speaking on Veda or Kalidasa or Bhasa, I have to speak of nirukta. So kratu, this word is very interesting. Kratu, in the dictionary you can find the meaning as yajña, and therefore you have shatakratu, an epithet for Indra, right? And how do we explain that word? One who has performed 100 Ashwamedha sacrifices. He is Shatakratu. And that is the reason why if any king is performing the 100th Ashwamedha Yajna, Indra will cause some obstacle in that. He won't allow that king to complete the 100th Ashwamedha. Otherwise, that king will become Indra and he will lose his kursi. Kursi ka kissa. And therefore, Shatakratu is Indra. Okay. But Kratu, this Kratu meaning Yajna is a later thing. Kratu can be related directly to the Greek word kratos. 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 And that means magical power. Power, basically power. Magical power. And in the Rigveda, I may tell you, in the 10th mandala, there is Oshadhayaha Suktam. There is a Suktam on medicinal herbs, where the herbs are called Shatakratvaha Oshadhayaha. Shatakratvaha Oshadhayaha. Do we translate their Kratu as Yajna? The Oshadhis, the medicinal herbs, have performed 100 sacrifices, 100 Yajnas. Isn't it absurd? And therefore Kratu means powers. So these medicinal herbs have hundreds of curative preventive powers in them, healing powers in them. Then how come the word kratu came to mean as yajna? Because after performing yajna, the yajamana also becomes powerful. The priest, the hota, also becomes powerful. They gain some miraculous powers, and therefore metaphorical meaning of kratu is yajna. Okay? This was all I got reminded because of the word kratu. So avanipatayaḥ, agnihotra yajñam. Here we can take it as yajna. So in the tapobhumi, in the gurukula, in the ashrama, people will be performing agnihotra every day and offering something, agnaye idam na mama svaha, right? But here they are offering their own pranas in this sthandila. Sthandila, the Vedi, the altar. Samprāptā raṇasaṃjñamāśramapadaṃ rājñāṃ nabhaḥsaṅkramam. Nabhaḥsaṅkramam. Nabha is sky. Here don't get restricted meaning of sky. It is heaven. Above. Heaven above. Saṅkrama. Saṅkramati anena. Saṅkramati anena. Iti saṅkramaha nama setuhu. A bridge. As in the ashrama, the ascetics, the gurus and the brahmacharis with their shishyas would perform yajnas and thereby would aspire to go to the heavenly kingdom, right? Jyotishtobena yajñakamo, svargakamo yajeta, right? One who is desirous of svarga should perform jyotishtoma. Jyotishtoma, one of the soma sacrifices. So, svargakamaha yajeta, that applies to the ashrama, and here also for the kings who are dying at their end as a heroic death, as a vairasyākvathanaṃ on the battlefield, for them this ahuti serves as a bridge to take them from bhuloka directly to svargaloka. So this ahuti becomes a bridge for them. So many things here, right? Very complicated verse, but so many dharmas of ashrama are transformed, aropita on ranasthandila. So, yatha agnihotrādikam ācharan svargaṃ prāpnoti tatha janaha naraha raja raṇe yuddhaṃ kuruvan śauryalokam gacchati ityarthaha. Śauryalokam gacchati, svargalokam gacchati ityarthaha. So, the various aspects of ashrama are, superimposed on the rana, and therefore this has become mala rupaka alankara. Not just one rupaka, so many rupakas are there. They can be woven into a garland. Okay? I think it's clear to you. There are big verses here, and these Shardula Vikridita verses especially, because the more elaborate the vritta is, the author, the poet can have more flexibility of having compounded words into it and make it more complex, make it more difficult. And that difficulty is not a semantic, just a semantic difficulty. It is suggestive of the hoary, the woeful nature of the battlefield as such. Okay? Samyak bhavan aha. Yes, you said it right. Upalaviṣamā nāgendrāṇāṃ śarīradharā diśi kṛtā gṛdhrāvāsā hatātirathā avanipatayaḥ svargaṃ prāptāḥ kriyāmaraṇe pratimukhamime tat kṛtvā chiram nihatāḥ. Compared to the first verse, this becomes like rhythmic, because there is yamaka, there is rhyme. śarīradharā, dharā, hatātirathā, rathāḥ, kriyāmaraṇe, raṇe, and nihatā, hatāḥ, ni, hata, hata. Same word getting repeated, it is yamaka. Okay? And you call latanuprasa as well. So the shabdalankaras basically. upalaviṣamā nāgendrāṇāṃ. Now the other one, it is his turn to describe, how the battlefield looks. He has some other perspective altogether. This is a Harini Vritta, which is na, sa, yara, sa, la, ga. The ganas are na, sa, yara, sa, la, ga, and yamaka, as I told you. So yuddha kriyaya maranam yasmin tasmin kriyāmaraṇe paraspara shastrāghāta rūpa kriyāmaraṇaṃ ca yasmin tasmin rane, etc., etc. So instead of anvaya, I think it is better to explain every word and go line by line. Upalaviṣamā dharā. Okay. Dharā, dharam, nama prithivim, dharante iti dharā nama parvataha. Those who stabilize the earth, as if hold the earth. Dharā is a mountain. Okay. Upalaviṣamā. Mountains are not like a smooth, smooth surfaced one. They have high and low because viṣama, high and low, not the same, uniform, because of upala, because of stones and rocks. They have a rocky surface, and therefore sometimes they would be very high, sometimes they would be low, and it is not a smooth surface for a cakewalk. It will be like a twisted one and high and low there, and therefore upalaviṣamā dharā. That is clear. The mountains are like that. Now here he is speaking on the battlefield of mountains. How come mountains appear in the battlefield? These are the battlefields of nāgendrāṇāṃ śarīra. Śarīra, the bodies, the carcasses, basically the dead bodies of Nagendra. Naga is elephant. Naga also means a snake, a serpent, but Naga also means an elephant. Nage bhavaha nagaha. Those who are abundantly found in forest region, in mountainous region, are elephants. Therefore they are called naga. Nage bhavaha nagaha. The Shabdakalpadruma will give how naga then means snake. Because snakes can be found anywhere. Here in our SIF campus we can find snakes. It is not a mountainous region. For that there is another vitpatti given. Very interestingly, how one word means two different, for that different vitpattis are given. Naga can be split as na plus aga. Na plus aga. Aga also, is a negative particle. Like ajnana, avidya, vidya, avidya, jnana, ajnana, brahmana, abrahmana, ga, aga. Okay. Ga is gacchati iti gaha. Na gacchati iti agaha. Na gacchati iti nagaha. It's not that he doesn't move. He is naga. Did you get me? No. So, agaha is one who doesn't move. Agaha. Na gacchati iti. But here it is preceded by another negative particle na. Na agaha. Two negations making strong affirmation. It is not that the snake doesn't move. It moves in a serpentine way. Crawls. In fact, it goes, though it doesn't have legs. It doesn't have feet. Normally it is said, how can a being move without feet? The snake doesn't have feet, doesn't have legs, so it can't move. But it is not that it can't move. Bhujabhyam gacchati, bhujaihi gacchati, iti bhujangamaha, nagaha, sarpaha, pannagaha. Right? And therefore the word bhujaga, bhujangama, bhujanga used for naga. So it is not that because it doesn't have feet, it can't move. It does move. Na gacchati iti na. Two negations. And therefore that is how naga, meaning a serpent, is justified. Another I don't know whether it becomes very heavy for you, but I can't resist myself from telling you what I know. So another Vyutpatti which is given in the Shabdakalpadruma, I think, or Vachaspatyam, is it has been derived, very interestingly from root dah. Naga, the word is interestingly derived from the root dah. Dahati vishadina iti, with its visha, poison, it as if burns the bodies of the people, right? Dahati vishadina iti. Then how daha becomes naga and naga? There are some sutras, he has given the sutras also, basically the Unadi sutras of Shakatayana. Dasya naha, dakara changes to nakara, bahulakat nakarasya na, and therefore nagaha. This is very interesting. Shabdakalpadruma. Okay. So naga, meaning snake, is also justified because there are other types of vyutpattis for that. The same word means two different things when you derive it from different roots. Okay. For example, I'll tell you just an example. Harihi. Harihi means who? Vishnu, Krishna. But Hari also means a lion. Have you heard the word Hari as a lion? No. Hari is lion. Now, harati pranān iti harihi nama simha. Harati manausi iti harihi nama Krishna. How you paraphrase it? From on that the word meaning rests. So it is very interesting. Sanskrit language, the same, you can twist the meaning. And therefore the context is very important. In which context you are reading the word. If you are reading the word in a Panchatantra tale, maybe Hari means a lion. But when you are reading the same word in Bhagavatam, it will mean Vishnu. Harati manausi iti. Okay. So upalaviṣamā, we are only on the first line. Upalaviṣamā dharā, and here, as big and as tall and lofty bodies, as mountains, the dead bodies of the elephants are lying here, and the elephant's body is vishama, not sama. It is very rough. Basically, it is very rough, right? If you have touched an elephant any time, I have had an elephant bath when I was in Nepal, so I know it. Sit on the back of, you ride an elephant, and then the elephant bathes you with the trunk water. That is elephant bath, okay? Not elephants taking bath. Elephant bathe you with water. You go in the pond and they splash water with their trunks. And it is so rough, I tell you. I mean, it is so vishama. The hair are so long on the body of the elephant. It is really very harsh to touch. Kharasparshaha, not mrudusparshaha as a peacock feather. It is very khara, and therefore vishama. Okay. So nāgendrāṇāṃ śarīradharā eva dharā. Got the first line clear? Diśi kṛtā gṛdhrāvāsā. Okay, only this much. Diśi, every direction. gṛdhrāvāsā kṛtā. The vultures have, have come together to eat, of course, the flesh of the dead bodies, from the dead bodies, right? So the vultures have come together in flocks. Diśi, in every direction. He can see the battlefield and he is explaining to us because it can't be shown on the stage, and therefore the soldier who has seen it for himself, he is describing it for others' benefit. Diśi kṛtā gṛdhrāvāsā. hatātirathā rathāḥ. The rathas are lying vacant because hata, dead. Who? Atiratha, the rathi, You know, atirathi. Atirathi is a one who can fight 100 or 10 rathis, you know, simultaneously. Here. Atirathaha, hataha. And so rathas are lying vacant, scattered, broken. One wheel is broken, one wheel is intact, you know, like tilted, twisted, this and that. Avanipatayaḥ svargaṃ prāptāḥ kriyāmaraṇe raṇe. In the rana, which is kriyāmaraṇa, kriyāmaraṇam yasmin prāpyate tat kriyāmaraṇam raṇam. And what is the kriya? Yuddha kriya. Yuddha kriyaya yasmin maranam prāpyate tādrisham raṇam. So kriyāmaraṇe raṇe, that is their workplace, work field of the warriors. Avanipatayaḥ, bhūpālaḥ, nāgendrāḥ, rājñāṃ, the kings. Avani is Prithvi. Pati is the Lord, one who protects her. And therefore avanipati means bhūpati, bhūpāla, prithvipati, dharāpati. As many synonyms of Prithvi you know, you keep on the left side, add pati to it, it means a king. Have you seen such abundance, shabdavaibhava, in any other language? There will be more than 100 words for Prithvi. I mean, Nirukta Nighantu gives only ekavimshati namani, gauhu, kshma, jma, dhara, prithvi, etc. Ekavimshati prithvi namadheyani. You add pati to that, it becomes bhūpati, kshmapati, dharapati, prithvipati, gaupati, jmapati. Instead of pati, you can add only pa, bhumipa, prithvipa, dharapa, pa, palayati asau. Hundreds and thousands of words can be created by prakriti and pratyaya. You join and you create a new word altogether. So avanipatayaḥ svargaṃ prāptāḥ kriyāmaraṇe raṇe. In this workplace of theirs, they have fought bravely and they have attained heavenly kingdoms. Pratimukham ime tattat kṛtā chiram nihatāḥ. Ime, all these avanipatayaḥ, all these great warriors, pratimukham, sammukham facing each other, tattat kṛtā, doing all that activity, whatever they were assigned to. Okay, the cavalry people are assigned some duty, the hastipakas, I mean the mahots, etc., who are driving the elephants, they are assigned some duty. The kings have been assigned some duty in the vyuha, in the array, okay, in the different vyuhas of Sena. They have been assigned, you have to fight this lot, you have to fight this lot. There is a management, war management, right? So tattat kṛtā pratimukham, in sammukham, ime chiram nihatāḥ hatāḥ. They are nihatāḥ, āhatāḥ. They are struck at, they are pierced by the arrows, they are smashed by the clubs and maces, and they have got holes in their bodies by throwing spears, etc. at them. So āhatāḥ, ime avanipatayaḥ, pratimukham, āhatāḥ, nihatāḥ. Now they are completely dead. Okay, so this is another description by a second warrior, that the vultures have come to grab the flesh from their bodies, and the elephants' carcasses, they look like, you know, uneven mountains, and such the rathas are lying vacant because the rathis are no more there, and many of the kings have died on the field. Evametat, yes, it is so. The third one now, it is his turn. Karivara karayupo bāna vinyasta darbho hata gaja chayanocho vairavanhi pradiptaha dhvaja vitata vitanaha simhanadocha mantraha patita pashu manushyaha samsthito yuddha yajñaha. another Rupaka, Yuddha Yajna. In the earlier verse which we read, the fourth one, it is Ranabhumi as Yajna. Here Yuddha, the battle itself, and the different activities of the battle and the different activities of Yajna. Abhede Rupakam. So when there is Abheda in Upamana Upamayoho, Abhedaha Rupakam iti uchyate. So when there is no comparison, but it is just it, Tasyaha Mukham Chandra Eva, not like Chandra, Chandra Eva, it becomes Rupaka. So here Yuddha Yajnaha, again a very beautiful example of Mala Rupaka Alankara, and Malini Vritta Nanamayaya, Nanamayaya, these are the Ganas. Kari Vara Kara Yupaha. See, whenever there is a Yajna being performed, normally in the Vaidika Yajnas, there was a yupa to which Pashu was tied. Yajniya Pashu was tied to the yupa. Yupa is what you can say, a pillar. It is made, it is of the log of wood, which is kept, which is kept there as a stambha, okay, as a pillar to which the Yajniya Pashu is tied. I'll tell you sometimes the Shunashyepa Katha also when the time comes. So, there are yupas in the Yajna. There is darbha scattered everywhere in the Yajna. I will tell you first what are the characteristics, what are the ingredients to perform a Yajna. Yupa is required, darbha is required, then Agni Chayana, Vedi, building it brick by brick, that is required. And the Vanhi has to be kindled, Agni is to be kindled, and there are, in Yajnashala, there is a canopy because it's performed in the open, but there is a roof above us, so the canopy is tied, and Uccha Mantraha, the mantras are recited, and the Pashu is there. These are all the characteristics or the inevitable ingredients or points to be present in the Yajna. Now all these things are present in Yuddha. How? Kari Vara Kara Yupaha. Good Rupaka again. Kari, elephant. Kari is Hasti. Karaha, Namashunda. Karaha asya asti iti karin. Hastaha asya asti iti hastin. That is his shunda, the trunk of the elephant. Okay. So Kari is elephant. Kari Vara, the best elephant. Nagendra, best elephant. Dvipendra. Kara, Kari Vara Kara. See the anuprasa. Kari Vara Kara. The trunk of the best elephants itself is the yupa. The long trunk, suspended, it looks like a pillar, not one which is raised up. The long trunk, suspended downwards, looks like a black pillar. Okay? Kari Vara Kara Yupaha. Bāna Vinyasta Darbhaha. The arrows are scattered everywhere, the long wooden arrows, as if the darbha is scattered all over. The darbha is strewn all over the place. Bāna Vinyasta Darbhaha. Hatha Gaja Chayanochaha. Here I would like to differ from the commentaries which I am referring to, the Hindi translations. I told you first, I think this is a book I am referring to, Bhasanataka Chakram, and it has so many different authors here. And this particular Urubhangam is done by one person from Kashi Vishwavidyapith. It is, I think, Kapil Dev Giri, but I would like to differ from his meaning. He has given here Hatha Gaja Chayana, the dead elephants, as Chayana, that is Pushpa Sambharaha, Kusuma Rashayaha. Now in the Yajnas normally there are no rashis of flowers. The Vaidika yajna didn't have flowers at all. It is the Pauranika yajna where we use flowers. In fact, the very word puja has come from the word pu meaning flower in Tamil, which means who in Kannada, right? So puja is offering of flowers, but that's a later version. The Vedic sacrifices never had flower offerings. It comes in the Puranic times, okay? It comes in the later times. And therefore kusuma rāṣayah. And how can you describe, the dead bodies of the elephants with the kusuma rashi? Where is the softness? Where is the delicateness of the flowers and the harsh bodies of the elephants? I feel this, because this is yuddha yajna, and in yajna there is a yajna vedi, and for yajna vedi the word in the Vedic Shulba Sutras is chiti. And chiti kasmat chayanat. Chayanam kesham ishtikanam. Kasam ishtikanam. The bricks are laid one upon the other. The hard, harsh bricks are kept one upon the other to make a high altar. Yajna Vedi. And therefore I feel this must have a reference to the Yajna Agni Chayana, Yajna Chiti, and not Kusuma Rashi. Okay? So Hatha Gaja Chayanochaha. Ucha is high. High, what you can say, heap of the bricks is required for a yajna. Here that is met with by the high or tall elephants who are dead, who are no more. Vairavanipradiptaha. In the yajna, the Agni has to be kindled, and here the Agni which is kindled is of animosity, enmity between each other. I can't tolerate you, I can't stand you, I am going to kill you. Okay? You are my enemy, you are my opponent, I am here to kill you. So Vairavanipradiptaha. So this Vairagni has kindled, has gone up high. Dhvaja vitata vitanaha. In the yajna, there will be yajnashala on which a cloth is stretched, like a canopy, a roof, a ceiling for us. Here the dhvajas, the different dhvajas of the warriors, they are as if the vitana. The different dhvajas are as if the vitana, that is the canopy. Vitata, stretched. Simhanadocha mantraha. And the highly recited Vedic mantras in the rana, in the yuddha, would be the Simhanada, the war cries. Simhanadam vinodyochai shankham dadmau pratapava tatash shankhascha bheryascha panavanaka gomukhaha sahasaivabhyahanyanta sashabdastumulo bhavat. So Simhanada, war cries. And then, the whole thing, आसमान पूरा भर जाता है war cries से. हर हर महादेव, something like that, war cries. Simhanada. Simhanada, that is as good as Uccha Mantraha. Patita Pashu Manushyaha. Who is the Pashu? Patita Manushyaha eva Pashuhu. All the dead bodies of the kings lying on the ground are the Pashus which are offered as Bali in the sacrifice, in the yajna, and therefore Samsthito Yuddha Yajnaha. So this Yuddha has come up here as a yajna. Beautiful, description, metaphorical descriptions with Rupaka Alankara. 3 soldiers have come, each one recited one verse, but that doesn't describe it fully. So fierce is the battlefield. They feel like describing it still more and bring out that, that loathsomeness, the bibhatsarasa to the spectators who are there watching the drama. And therefore they go on describing one by one after the other again and again. Prathamaha again. Idam aparam pasyetaṃ bhavantau ete paraspara shatairhitajivitānaṃ dehairāṇājiramahim samupāśritānaṃ kuruvanti chatra pishitardra mukha vihanga rājñāṃ sharīra shithilāni vibhūṣanāni. Ete vihangaha kuruvanti. This is the main sentence. These birds are doing something. What are they doing? Rājñāṃ vibhūṣanāni śarīra shithilāni kuruvanti. They are loosening the ornaments of the kings on their bodies, which they have worn on their bodies, like mukuta, like mala, like bajuband, and what not. All the kings, they wear so many ornaments on their bodies. Okay. So, ete vihangaha viyati gacchanti iti vihangaha bhujaihi gacchanti iti bhujangaha tvaraya gacchanti iti turangaha. Right? So, ga is going, you add different word and you can make different words meaning different animals. So, vihangaha rājñāṃ vibhūṣanāni visheshena bhūṣayanti iti vibhūṣanāni. Not just normal ornaments, very costly, very expensive, because they are all embedded jewels and precious gems. Okay? Vibhūṣanāni śarīra shithilāni kuruvanti. They are loosening these ornaments from their bodies. They are snatching away because they want to eat the flesh of the body. These vihangaha are the gṛdhrāvāsā, are the vultures. Pishita mausa bhakṣanaha. They would survive only on the mouse of the dead bodies. So, ete vihangaha rājñāṃ vibhūṣanāni śarīra shithilāni kuruvanti. How are these vihangaha? Pishita ardra mukhaha. Pishita is mouse. Pishita is mouse. Mouse bhakshanena ardrani mukhani yesham te pishitardra mukhaha. By eating the wet flesh, the moist flesh from which blood is oozing. Can't even describe, but that is how it is. Therefore, their mouths means their beaks. These are birds. So, mouths means beaks. Chanchu. Chanchvaha katham jataha ardribhutaha. They have become moist. They have become wet because blood is sticking here and there, because they have eaten up after loosening the vibhūṣana. They are eating the flesh and therefore their beaks are smeared with blood. Pishitardra mukhaha vihangaha atra. He is describing like here, he has seen it. Atra. We haven't seen, but he has seen it. Atra vihangaha rājñāṃ vibhūṣanāni shithilī kuruvanti kīdruṣāha vihangaha pishitardra mukhaha. And then ete vihangaha paraspara shataihi hoods, bodies or hoods, vibhūṣanāni rājñāṃ, it is shashti. So the shashti in the first two lines will go with rājñāṃ. Shashti bahuvachana. Rājñāṃ vibhūṣanāni shithilī kuruvanti kīdruṣāha rājānaha paraspara sharaihi hritajivitānaṃ rājñāṃ. Whose lives have been deprived by hitting each other with arrows. Paraspara sharaihi hrita, taken away, prāṇa, jīvita. Okay? The arrows, the showering arrows have deprived the kings of their lives. Paraspara sharaihi ritajivitānaṃ rājñāṃ. Another epithet. Dehe raṇājiramahim samupāśritānaṃ. Raṇājiramahim samupāśritānaṃ that is ranajiramahim yuddhakshetra prāṅgana bhūmim. Rana ajira bhūmim. Mahim is bhumi, ajira is angana. Okay, ajira is angana. So yuddhakshetra prāṅgana bhūmim samupāśritānaṃ. They have gathered here together, agatānaṃ, dehe, whatever they were wearing, all these vibhushanas, these vihangas are loosening and eating the flesh thereof, which has turned their beaks moist with blood. Bibhatsa alankara. Bibhatsa loathsome घृणाती है, सुनने को जी नहीं करता, देखने को कैसे जी करेगा. But these warriors have seen it and therefore they are describing it to us. So this is like vasanta tilakavritta, bibhatsarasa and svabhavokti alankara. Svabhavokti alankara, you know, something like these verses are very like, you know, heavy in the sense though I wish, every class I can complete some 8-10 verses, I can't do it, because this is not a portion which I have to complete in say 4 lectures or 5 lectures. As long as it goes, as long as you are here curious to listen, I will be there. So Svabhavokti, I am reminded of Dandi, one of the earliest poeticians. He has divided the entire Sanskrit literature, Samskrita Vangmayam, in 2 categories, alankara wise. One is Svabhavokti, one is Vakrokti. Svabhavokti is a realistic description and Vakrokti is Chamatkriti Puranam. In fact, alankara is Vaichitryam vai alankaraha. Alankara is what? Anything which you express in a striking manner, that becomes a figure of sense, isn't it? Instead of saying, she is very beautiful, she is as beautiful as moon, as beautiful as lotus, that becomes alankara. She is very beautiful is svabhava. Okay? So he has divided this. Now there was another poetician, Kuntaka, later on, and he said Svabhavokti is not alankara. Svabhavokti is describing the thing as it is. Dimbhadehe swakriya rupa varnanam, as Mammata says. What is there to describe, you know? But it is not just describing the thing as it is not a matter of fact manner description. And on that there is a verse, you know, what is the difference in Svabhavokti as alankara and a matter of fact manner description. For example, if somebody is describing a bull and if he says Swarupa kriyāvaraṇaṃ, Swarupa kriya. So if Swarupa is described and kriya is described, can it every time be called Svabhavokti? For example, I read a verse, you tell me whether it is an alankara. Dirghapuchchaha chatushpadaha, long tail, chatushpadaha, 4 feet. Kakudman, Bashinda, the high portion here, Kakudman, Lambakambalaha, झूल घातलीये पाठीवर बैलाच्या, okay? Lambakambalaha, Gorapatyam Balivardaha, Ghasamatti Mukhena Saha. He is the son of Go, cow, and he eats grass with his mouth. It is Swarupa and Kriyavarnana. Can it be called alankara? It is not alankara. So alankara, what is the difference between Svabhavokti as a matter of fact manner description and Svabhavokti as alankara? Alankara expresses the same thing in a striking manner. Instead of saying here that the bodies are lying there and these vultures are coming and snatching away the flesh and all, instead of saying only that Pishitardra mukhaha shithilani kuruvanti vibhushanani, because unless they loosen the, in the mala is stuck in the neck, they want to have the mānsakhanda from the neck portion, unless they remove the alankara, they can't do it. So it is not that they are, just eating the flesh out of the body. This will be just a kriya, but give it in a striking manner with kavya pratibha, with some alankara attached to it, with rupaka, upama, something, then it becomes a figure of speech which can be enjoyed. Okay, so this, and for that, Dandi, Bhamaha, the earlier rhetoricians who belong to the Alankara school, there are, so many schools in the Indian aesthetics, Indian poetics, like Alankara school, Rasa school, Dhvani school, Vakrokti school, etc., etc. So these are the Alankarikaha, and they say that Vastunaha svabhavadvayam vartate. Sthulascha sukshmascha. So sthula svabhava varnanam, anybody can do it. Like this is a table, this has 4 legs, this is made up of wood and this and that. This is the sthula. But sukshma varnana would be something difficult, something different. Like a bull, it has 4 legs and it has a shishna, it has a this shishne gorapatyam bali vardaha mutram munchati shishnena apanena cha gomayam. Now this is what? This is sthula svabhava. But the sukshma svabhava of that would be like Kalidasa explains the bull of Shiva, Nandi. That is not just a sthula svabhava varnana, that is the sukshma varnana. And that sukshma varnana is mahakavi gochara eva. Not everybody can grasp it. And therefore these are called poets and we are called ordinary beings. That is the difference. There lies the difference. So this is a Swabhavokti, and I am reminded of Swabhavokti as Alankara and Swabhavokti as matter of fact manner description. This is not just a chronicler, who is describing this happened, one after the other. But this is a poet describing this, and therefore there has to be some strikingness in that. I think the time is up now, so I could do only 4, 5, 6, 7, only 4 verses today. But okay, next time we will meet again. If you come prepared, then I need not explain everything to you. And one more request to you, soon we will be sending you a Google form. And you just make your suggestions, your comments on that, and if possible, one play of Bhasa we have already completed, Karnabharam. If you could get some 5-10 objective questions with the correct answers from that, I will welcome that too. Okay? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.